This market is not ready to give it up. There was that big gap down this morning. Obviously, everybody knows, right? We covered that pre-market, and we had the potential to come down here. Didn't get there. And so watching this today, right, we had this area, I had this area marked off. Um, got the void. Maybe I was going to go down there and started to watch this begin to move lower this morning, checking other markets here in the green room. And you can see that momentum began to slow. It didn't mean it was go up. So when prices come down into an area of support, right, we don't know exactly where it's going to stop, meaning by definition an area. Maybe it comes all the way down to the pivot. Maybe it stops before that. If buyers are aggressive, it stops before that. So what do you look for? Well, you got to pivot. That begins to create support. That doesn't mean it's going to turn around, but you have a reference point, whether it tests or not. Now, odds are, because it's in a downtrend and it hasn't reached the bottom that we know of, it's going to break through that pivot. Okay, fine. And at that point, does it turn around? Does it move up? One of the things to look for on this time frame is, does it form a wide range bar? If you get a wide range bar, that's a pretty good indication that it's going to retrace. So at that point, as a general rule, right, you can buy the pullback. So that was a nasty red bar and a turn. It's on a 2-minute chart. It's probably some kind of a reversal. And so at that point, it's like, does it get above the open? And you can see that it actually stalled there in a pretty big way, and buyers continue to show up. So now it looks like it's headed for the gap fill, give or take. You can see the bottom of that bar right there is about where it's at. I can change that. Let's see if I can change that size, the width of that bar. I can't figure it out anyway. So now we've got a bottoming tail bar. It's almost 1 o'clock, about another 5 minutes. This may not stay a bottoming tail bar. So we're getting the beginnings of a little breakout failure right there. Right? It broke out, and now you got a 5-minute bar that took out the low of the new high bar. That's a darn good indication that you got a top in the move. At that point, does it come down here? If it goes, this blue line is the opening price. If it goes down below there, it certainly opens up the door to going lower. But anyway, it's a pretty good turn. We've got, a trading range kind of situation there, no doubt. 50 MA, almost got to it. And I already said it's starting to turn. Qs. Come down toward the 50. I thought it would get there, but no. The buyer stepped up. And so here's the same idea. Pivot, it retests it, and wide range bar up. That just changes our bias. Once you've got the reversal and a wide range bar, where it could have broke the low and flipped back up again, that is another heads up. The Russell actually came all the way down to that pivot low and then began to turn. You got a red bar, and now it's come into that gap fill. And whether this remains a bottoming tail bar or anything's possible. If you've been doing this for a while, of course, you know that. But the depth of this retracement, in the short term anyway, suggests the potential for it to hold on to that gain. We got one more day in the year. Tomorrow's going to be light volume, and odds are it doesn't go too far, and then tomorrow turns out to be an inside day as people leave early. Transports. So we talked about these markets that led the way down. And pre-market, I said, well, these are less likely to go down as far as the Qs and spiders because they led the way down. And I also mentioned the potential, could this become a W kind of a pattern? So you get an accelerated move. There's a wide range bar suggesting the end of the move or the slowing momentum. Here's a retest. We'll see if it holds on to this reversal, and that could result in a move higher. So we look at, here, when I click this, it loads the stocks in there. We could see what's doing well on the day. So this is something that a retest, I can change it for percent change on the day. Airlines have been doing great, continues to show relative strength. I'd much prefer things that something like this, well, it broke down and it came back up again, like a downside shakeout, which will take a little while to see if it goes sideways here. And if it does, then maybe we get a move up. Retests. We see if it holds on to the gain. Maybe we get a move up. So the patterns are not done. Right? It's coming up on 1 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, I don't know what these will look like. They may get greener, meaning stronger, or may go down and go back down to the low of the day. We don't know. So I like this, a little breakdown failure action. The question is, can it hold on to the gain? And if it does, these transport stocks have the potential to move up from there. Energy is the strongest in the S&P sectors today. Doesn't look like too much, but it led the way down. So, when something goes down that much, there's less of a tendency to continue lower. It goes sideways for a while, get a bottoming tail bar up, and then if it doesn't go up, well, odds are it's going to go lower. So when something comes down as much as it does, it takes a little time for sellers to become aggressive again, if they're going to, because, hey, it's been beaten down tremendously in a short amount of time. This is down 15% in a short amount of time. Could it retrace a bit toward the 20? Absolutely. And of course, the same story, look at what's strong in there. I talked about this in the green room today, pointed it out. We'll see if it holds on to the gain. Communication services, a lot of damaged goods for sure. But maybe get a little blip up into the new year. Utilities retesting. This is holding up relatively well. Sloppy trading range. And NVIDIA is up today, so we'll see if that holds on to the gain. Verizon doing well. Adobe beaten down. This could be a catch-up kind of situation where it pushes up, or we get some put spread opportunities. Wash, repeat. What's done well, what's done poorly, what holds on to the gain. You could see the same breakout failure. How much of these come down or the lack of. Some semiconductors are holding up. So SMH early in the day was holding up better than the others. Just whipped around a whole bunch, but as other things were going down, this was holding the low of the day. So that came up. So in the short term, we've got some positives. Intermediate term, we have a lot of damage being done. And at this point, can they begin to repair the damage, or are these just, stalls before the next leg down? And we'll see. Any questions, always email us. Greg and Dan at Master Trader. Have a happy, safe new year, and we'll be talking in 2025 a lot.